Hello, welcome back to Texas Cooking Today. Hey, I am doing another one of my comments video because I've had good response on this. Okay, so I got good feedback from my viewers, and they were saying things that I wanted to hear, things I was kind of hoping that would come across well. So I want to do more of these, and let's hope to get them a little more popular. So do me a favor and tell your friends about them. Tell your friends that if they comment on my videos, it's likely I might comment back, and to be nice about it. Even if it's criticism, look, I can take criticism like the next guy, and I'm very good at it because I see criticism as a means, as an avenue of growth. It's a means of getting better as a human being. And without criticism, you know, it's just all you get is ego stroking. You end up as somebody that's got a huge ego that thinks they know everything, and in reality has a lot to learn. But if you've realized that you've got a lot to learn and you're constantly trying to learn, then you're probably on the right path, if you know what I mean. So consider that. Anyway, I want to go through the comments. This time I got something that's a little easier to read off of, okay? So a little closer. I don't have to look behind the camera, which right now is about 6 feet away from me. So you'll know where I am right now. I'm not in my kitchen, of course. I'm in my office. This is where I do my editing. Behind me are just some bookcases, and this is just an extra chair I use. But over on the side there, I've got, actually over on this side, I have all of my security, you know, so I can see what's going on outside. I can look over and I can see if, like, I got a delivery coming. Pardon my alarms. I live by alarms. They keep me on track, let's just say. And that was just one of my alarms reminding me to get a certain thing done, and that was basically record this video. So I'm a few minutes early. Anyway, as I was mentioning, hey, my cameras, I got that all over there. I've got all of my editing equipment back over on that side over there. So, you know, got printers over there, got computers over there. There's a stereo system over there that I use for sound for the editing on my videos. And so there's a lot going on. And then over here I have layout for, you know, my photography work, to lay out photographs and stuff like that, files and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, office, right? So that's where we're at now. Anyway, I'm going to start with some comments that are held for review, and I have my channel set so all comments are held for review. So if you post a comment and you don't see it immediately, it's only because I didn't review it and check it off, okay? And I check off all of them unless there is a link in it. If somebody put a link to another channel or to some place off of YouTube, I won't let it on there. I don't put spam on any of my comments. And if I ever find it, and I have from time to time, I found spam and I rid the comments of that. Okay, so I don't want y'all having to sift through any of that. Anyway, there's only a couple of them here. The first one is Tom writes in and he said, excellent job and nice recap of ingredients. And that was on the sauerbraten. Okay, so you'll know. Folks, if you haven't watched me for a long time or have seen my videos for a while, I always do my ingredients twice, unless there's no measurements involved. So if measurements are involved, I'll introduce the ingredients at the beginning of the video. But then I also, after that, towards the end of the video, before I show you the final product, I usually do the ingredients again and give the quantities. So it's done twice in my videos. And I did it that way on purpose because some years back, I ran into a situation where people were watching my videos. They were watching for, you know, just a couple of minutes. And then they would, after they saw the ingredients, they would turn off the video and just go immediately to watch something else. So I noticed that it was where my ingredients were that was shortening the amount of time people would watch my videos for. So what I did is I changed that and fixed it so I put the actual ingredient quantities toward the end of the video, and suddenly I started seeing longer viewership. So it's kind of weird how that kind of stuff works. But so anyway, got another one here. It was this is an older one that I apparently didn't catch, but it was on my beef tips and rice. It was one of my easy weeknight meals, episode 7, number 714. So yeah, that was a few weeks back. But anyway, Fourscore writes in from this channel and says, "You call this easy weeknight dinner, but it's only easy for you, not for your viewers. Why don't you just list the recipe and ingredients in the description? Make some timestamps so people can navigate to the bits that they need to recreate the dish at home. Do you really think folks want to spend 19 minutes on YouTube, hungry after work, to watch your video with pen and paper handy, or excuse me, pen and paper handy," there I go, reading bad again, right? "To write down what you are doing? Take it easy on us, man." Okay, look, Fourscore, so you'll know. I don't expect people to come home, watch my video, and then try to do something they've never thought about. I expect you to eat something and then tune into my video, watch the whole thing from beginning to end to get a good idea of what you want to do the next night. All right, and that's kind of the idea there. As far as putting in timestamps and stuff, I think that would be self-defeating for me, because then people are watching bits and pieces of my video. It would shorten the view time, and I would get less recommendations from YouTube and suggested videos. So I want to increase those, and so I want my the viewership to be as long as possible. Videos that get viewed from beginning to end generally get more advertising, and they get higher ranking in suggested videos. Just the way these algorithms work. And I've kind of learned to work with that. Okay, there's a reply here. Let's see. Oh, goody. Hey, the reply is from my good friend Juan. You know, the guy that's that has trolled my channel. This guy's a ball. Oh, and by the way, to those that responded about Juan, don't worry about Juan. Juan doesn't worry me. Juan doesn't frighten me. And Juan doesn't cause me to lose a minute of sleep. I realize that Juan's a person that has issues. Juan is a troll, and Juan probably doesn't have much of a life. I kind of feel bad for Juan, actually, but Juan needs to get it together also. Anyway, let's see what Juan said here. This was his reply to Fourscore. What I just read to you was, "Don't worry, I already sue him. His YouTube channel is getting shut down, and I'm even keeping his house. His losing everything." Love this. Okay, so hey. See, I live in Texas, folks. I don't know if you know the laws in Texas, but if you sue somebody that's in Texas, you can get this judgment from the court. It's a document, and you can hang it on your wall. And guess what? That's about all you're going to get, because in Texas, you can't force somebody to pay, and you can't put liens against their property to get anything. Furthermore, in Texas, we have a Homestead Act. You can't touch someone's house. You're screwed on that one. So, you know, even if he did have a legitimate claim, which he doesn't, then there would be nothing there. So anyway, Juan, get a life, all right? And stop leaving things like this on other people's replies. They don't care about your issues, all right? Okay, let's get on to more replies here. I'm going to get back to the published videos that are already out that I've checked off. All right, and I'm just going to kind of go backwards from the most recent to older ones, okay? And it starts with Jerry writes in, and he had been watching my pork tamales video, which, by the way, if you haven't made my pork tamales, you're missing out. It's an exceptional recipe. All right, so anyway, Jerry writes in and he says, "Manteca is Spanish for lard." You're right, it is. I buy that stuff and use a lot of it. And frankly, you know, usually when I buy that, I'm at a Hispanic market when I get it. I'm also picking up my chilies and things like corn husks and stuff like that. That reminds me, I need to do maybe a carnitas video. Okay, Jerry also writes in, "Real tamales, not just masa. Cooked cornmeal." And you're right, you know, Jerry, I know what you're talking about. Sometimes you get a tamale, it's masa all the way to the center, sometimes with this little pencil lead size filling of meat. So, I'm sorry, I was looking at my cameras because I'm waiting for a delivery. So anyway, yeah, I want to mention something, cornmeal. Masa harina, which is what the masa in the masa dough that tamales have, that they're made of. That is not really cornmeal, okay? And it's not related to cornmeal. Cornmeal is dried corn that's been ground into a meal, all right? But masa harina is actually hominy. That's where you take corn and you pickle it in lye, then you dry it out, and then you grind it into flour, all right? So it's a little bit different product. The masa harina that makes tamales is a very unique product. Good stuff, though. Peanut brittle recipe, episode 4, number 424. Patricia writes in, what are the measurements for stuff? Hey, Patricia, like I just mentioned earlier in the video, I put the ingredients at the beginning and I put the measurements toward the end. Watch the whole video, you get the measurements. It also says that down in the description box. Okay, on my pizza recipe that I just put up, and by the way, that did real well. Thank you for viewing that. David writes in, can you freeze it after assembling it, but prior to cooking it, and bake it later? And if so, what are the baking instructions? Thanks. David, you could pretty much do that to any pizza, okay? Regardless of the recipe. So if you got a good pizza recipe, put the thing together and shove it in the freezer, all right? Now, after it's frozen, I would recommend wrapping it and use it within a week or two, or put it in a deep freeze so it doesn't get freezer burn. All right, do yourself that favor. On regular pizzas that are in the grocery store, they're actually treated with certain chemicals that help to reduce freezer burn. Not something I recommend you put on your pizza. Okay, my comments number 1. The maestro writes in and he says, enjoying these fireside chats. Hey, thank you very much. I plan to do more of them, so please write in and good comments, and please encourage more people to watch so that they can write in, and we'll really grow this nice. This will be fun. On the hash browns video, and that was episode 7, number 741, Benito says, I know these are good. All you need is scrambled eggs and ham, bacon, wrapped in a tortilla. But that's another video. He's right. Hey, look, that's like a breakfast burrito in Texas, okay? And it is not Texan, it's Hispanic, all right? But yeah, it would have potatoes and eggs and generally bacon and chorizo, sometimes some chopped green chilies. Oh man, and a little bit of cheese, some queso sometimes, but it doesn't need it. We're talking some really good burritos. Good stuff. Okay, let's see here. On the ramen noodles recipe, David writes in, he said, pretty healthy looking dish. Thank you, David. Yeah, that ramen noodle recipe, lots of good food there, simple to make, and it's a good use of a, let's face it, the kind of dinner that doesn't inspire you. So now ramen noodles can look a little better to everyone. All right, so we have Ian wrote in on my pizza recipe. Let me see here. Nope, delivery ain't here yet. I'm just hearing things. Okay, so Ian writes in on the pizza recipe and he said, watching this made my mouth water, LOL. Going to give it a try. And because I get heartburn from certain things, I never knew that tip. So thank you for sharing. Look, on my, if you haven't seen it, on the pizza video, I show how to take paper towels and remove that grease from the top of the pizza. Sometimes there's just too much of it, especially if you got really good pepperoni, and that Chicago made pepperoni. It's tasty, but boy, it does leave a lot of oil on top. So anyway, I show a really cool tip there. Check that out. Simon writes in on the pizza also. He says, I'm also curious if you're experimented with your oven being at 500 to 550 degrees. I've noticed that to work quite well. Yes, I have. In fact, I used to cook my pizzas at 500 degrees. However, the oven I have now, while it'll go to 500, I don't want to do that. It's an older oven. It's a built-in oven. And I'd rather keep it down around 450 at the highest. So, and I wanted it shown that, yeah, you can do this at temperatures like 450. But you're right, Simon. The higher the temperature, the better the pizza cooks up. That's why pizza ovens are generally between 500 and 600 degrees. All right, they're hot, and the wood-fired ones are definitely way hot. So you know, although they give a special flavor. Now Simon also wrote in a second time on that same video. This is cool. Simon said, I used to own a pizza shop, and I've seen lots of people roll it into proportioned dough balls and refrigerate it for 24 hours to bring out more flavor. Have you tried that? What do you think? Yeah, Simon, it does. It develops a better maturity in the dough and allows the yeast to build more. The more yeast, the more yeasty flavor you get without adding more yeast up front. Then also, the yeast consumes a certain amount of the dough. They produce the alcohol that they produce. That extra amount of alcohol also affects the dough. There's a lot of things that change that dough composition, and aging it definitely makes a difference. We call it fermenting the dough. All right, so good idea, and thank you for bringing it up. And I had no idea that you had a pizza shop. That blows me away. All right, now, Simon says again, this is very funny. Last night my wife made ramen noodles, then you posted a ramen noodle video. Shortly after that, then tonight, we went out for pizza. You posted a pizza video 3 hours later. Are we linked somehow? Awesome as usual. I can't tell you how many times I went into work in my last job, and I went into the main kitchen, and they were preparing what I had made the night before. It's weird. I think people just get a certain intuition at certain days or certain times of the year to cook certain things. But yeah, it seems like sometimes folks get linked, I think. Mr. Lopez writes in and he said, you're on a roll lately. Great stuff. That's on the pizza video. Bill writes in and he said, bravo, man. You are one of the best chefs on YouTube. You should have 1 million subs. Hopefully you will soon. No kidding. I've been busting my rear for years, hoping to build this into something. And I don't know why it hasn't, but it hasn't. But do me a favor. Share my videos. Share them a lot. And ask your friends to share them. I need to network to grow, and I think the best way is just to ask folks. So please do me a favor and share. Don writes in on the pizza video. He says, when using fresh mozzarella, add it at the end. Personally, I hacked a cheap Oven Chef apartment furnished stove, not to be limited to heat. Dangerous, but it gets the 650 degrees I need. I use a New York style pizza screen. Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about. Some of these ovens are hot. Oh, and Don said also San Marzano tomatoes. And you're right. Those are those little pear-shaped ones I was growing this last summer. You'll see those in my gardening videos. And yeah, I'm going to do the Texas Cooking Today garden again. I don't know if I'll do as many videos, but I will do that. And somebody wrote in and asked about peppers. I don't remember who that was. Maybe I'll hit it in a little bit. But on the issue of peppers, yeah, I'm going to be doing peppers, but I'm certainly no authority on peppers. In fact, last year mine didn't do very well. So I can't say you need to watch me to know how to do those. But I'll find out. I'll find out and I'll get it right. We'll do it together. All right, let's see here. Wow, I got so many comments on the pizza video. It's unbelievable. Don says, great video. I've been making pizza for years. Always learn something new. Benito writes in, says, thin crust, always the way to go. I liked how you cut the pizza with a knife. I used a butcher knife myself. A traditional pizza cutter isn't needed. You're right, it isn't. That's the reason I haven't ever clogged my drawers with one. I had one at one time, And I still used the knife. I didn't like the cutter. All right. Somebody writes in on my French fried onions video. That is season 4, episode 428. And so you'll know, those French fried onion rings that you buy in a can. All right. I was teaching how you can make those at home. If you don't have them, you can pull out an onion and pull those off in a pinch. It doesn't take long. It's easy to do, and you will get the exact same product. I show how to do it. It's not hard. Ramen noodles video. Oh, good. Tempest writes in and says, love it. I also like to ramp up ramen noodles, but not usually to this extent. Takes about 5 minutes to prepare. Throw that flavor packet right in the garbage. It's mostly just sodium. I agree with you. And she says, use any leftover beef, pork, chicken is best. Supermarket rotisserie. Let me see here. There's more. Good, it's a little long. Supermarket rotisserie chicken, peeled shrimp, very good. Now she lists a short recipe there. I'm not going to go into it because there's several sentences. So it's a fairly long paragraph. But Tempest, thank you for writing in. Folks, take a look at what she had to say there. Uncle Hubert, you write in on the ramen noodles. You said, man, ramen is just the epitome of comfort food. Doesn't matter how broken your heart is, a hot bowl of spicy ramen. I like mine with some real heat. Will sort you out and do you good. And then he edits it and says, damn you, instigator. Today I'm having a big old bowl of ramen thanks to you. So apparently I had an effect on Uncle Hubert. Thanks for watching. And on the same video, which is the ramen, Jack writes in, will you be doing another garden this spring? That's what I was talking about. I need advice on growing peppers. Hey, Jack, look, I'm not your pepper guy. I'm going to try to get it right. Hopefully this next year I'll do it. I think I overwatered them last year, and I believe peppers need kind of to be ignored and neglected. So I'm going to put some against a fence, kind of in a protected spot, and do my best to neglect them as much as possible. Hopefully that'll do the trick. It's funny how some things do better when you give them less attention. From the Johnson family, on my green chili soup recipe, they just said yummy. Thank you very much. Folks, if you haven't tried that, that is season 3, episode 329, a green chili soup recipe. And let me tell you, I make a good green chili soup. Oh, it's simple, it's delicious, it's filling, and you'll definitely want a second bowl. Okay, now, on my last comments, which was the comments number 2, Haba writes in, like others have said, you shouldn't get worked up over some bozo sitting behind a keyboard and spraying hate. Juan probably has never watched your videos with any interest in the first place. You just keep being you and making the videos. I really enjoy your recipes and down-to-earth personality. Hey, don't sweat it, dude. Like I said earlier in the video, I've been doing this long enough. And I've also learned how to deal with haters. I had to learn that early in life. All right, so I've dealt with haters in my life, and I'm very good at it. And I'm also pretty good with words. All right, now on my bangers and mash video, Tempest writes in and says, another great video, Stuart. Who wouldn't like some sausages with mashed potatoes and onion gravy? How authentic it is. I don't know other than what I've seen chefs make for the past 40 years. Let's see here, read more. I think pork sausages are the norm, and that's what I use. Brits are known for Cumberland sausages, which is just a different way they are minced. But most importantly, it is just using some good quality sausages. Now, the ones I used were Texas-made sausages. They were beef sausages. Texas has a rich sausage-making history. We make a lot of different kinds of sausages. If you've ever heard of Jimmy Dean's and Owens, the plants are right here, folks. And we produce huge amounts of sausage. It's kind of hard not to in a state where you have as much cattle industry and much beef and as much pork and chicken as going on in Texas. Right, it's a huge state and there's a lot happening here. Let's see here. Thank you, Tempest, for writing in. She writes in a lot more stuff, okay? And I'm going to keep it short on some of those. Ian, you wrote in on my chicken pesto pasta easy weeknight meals, episode 7, 735. Ian writes, this made my mouth water and the seasoning on the Brussels sound really good. I just suck with timing things, LOL. Considering I've got... Oh, okay. Considering I've only got Element hot plates going to have to try this for sure. Okay, Ian, now I understand what's going on, so what you're working with. And on your timing thing. Now, if you've ever watched my videos and how I lay them out, the segments of the video are actually laid out exactly the way I cook. Okay, so I put things in order to the way I'm actually doing things. I always do my prep up front, all of it. And then I get things laid out, and then I start the cook process, and I'll do it in the exact same order that you see things on my videos. And that's what this season was focused on timing in the kitchen and these easy weeknight meals, so how to pull together multiple elements and have them all ready at the same time. And so that's what I'm working on for this season, so keep paying attention. I've got a lot more to teach you on that. All right, so Uncle Hubert, you wrote in again on my bangers and mash. You said, a Texan going British? Jason says, that looks awesome. Hey, folks, if you haven't tried the bangers and mash, give it a shot, all right? It's a simple recipe. It's good tasting. You don't have to do a lot of work to get perfect, delicious, fresh food. Simon said to the bangers and mash, another mouth-watering video. On my comments number 2, Benito writes in, says, can't wait to see your salsa recipe video. You have your own way of jazzing up the food, and I wouldn't even waste my time with these negative comments from folks. Looking forward to your next video. Look, first of all, Benito, negative comments don't bother me. In fact, I feed on that a little bit. When I get criticism, that to me isn't an opportunity to feel bad. That's an opportunity for growth and to become a better person. Criticism allows me to look in on myself from someone else's eyes and then to see what they're talking about and to see if I can make myself better for tomorrow. All right, so I don't have a problem with criticism. Criticism's an okay thing for me, and it's through criticism that I've made a lot of improvements in my life. So, not a problem there. Don't worry about that. It's hate speech that I don't like, and spamming. I just won't put up with spamming. Okay, guys. I tell you what, that's where I'm going to stop this. I've had a lot of replies. Please send in some more replies. I'm going to use them on my video if I can. And if you definitely want it used on the video, please say so up front. Say, hey, please use this on the video, the comments video. And that way I'll know to try to fit you in. And I'll make notes for that. Okay. Well, I just checked my camera and it stopped right there where you saw it. And sometimes that camera just does what it wants. So what I want to say now is to say thank you very much for watching Texas Cooking today, for watching me, and please keep watching. There's a lot more to come. If you would, write down in the comments, write down there anything that you have to say to me. I'm more than happy to listen to. This week I'm going to probably be working on some sauce videos. I've had a lot of people asking for barbecue sauce, so that's coming very soon. I was thinking of doing some ribs this week. Don't know how I want to cook them, maybe indoors. Why don't you write in and give me some suggestions of what you would like to see. Also, I'll probably be doing some butter sauces maybe this week very soon. So thank you very much. Please write in comments. check my description box right underneath here also, and that's where you're going to find my recipes. Also, Texas Cooking Today merchandise, my caps, shirts, and other stuff like aprons. Please take a look. Thank you very much for watching, and folks, please have a good day and enjoy the videos.